A recent search for Alisum stand mixer produced a jaw-dropping page 1 result that embarrassed a booming brand and effectively killed a $1.2 million listing in under 24 hours. And that listing never recovered. But who had the skill to hijack a 7-figure stand mixer listing that's been on Amazon for years? Speculations about who hijacked this listing ranged from a Guangdong cyber team to well-funded competitors in an all-out digital duel. Now, according to Marketplace Pulse, takeovers of third-party Amazon sellers' accounts have been on the rise to over 7,300 hijacks a year, making this a whopping billion-dollar threat. So clearly, there's a lot of money at stake. But there's a brutal art to hijacking Amazon listings that only the dark underbelly of e-commerce marauders knows about, until now. And while this video will take you deep into the art of hijacking Amazon listings, this video is for entertainment purposes only. We never approve of any hijacking. However, if you're just a little bit curious or a lot afraid, I'm going to show you the 3 devious attacks that hijackers use to steal sales and then share cyber giggles with their dark web community. And since the results can be so devastating, I'm also going to show you which of these 3 hijacks took down that 7-figure Alisum listing. That way you'll know exactly how to stop these hijackers cold. Because waking up to a hijack listing is a bit like waking up in a scene from The Talented Mr. Ripley, realizing that someone stole your life and jacked your income all so they could take your beloved on a whirlwind vacation. Now you're just left penniless, eating instant noodles while binge watching soap operas for solace. So let me illustrate the basics of any Amazon listing takeover. It starts when a sneaky hijacker slides in and takes control. Their level of control determines the number of mischievous options that they have. They could simply vandalize your listing, or they could go deep and swap out your products with cheap knockoffs that would make dollar store trinkets look like Dolce & Gabbana. Then they can just steal your sales and leave you wondering where your customers went. However, there are only 3 dark hat hijacks that these Amazon marauders rely on to take control of any Amazon listing. First up, the Ghost Registry hijack, which lets sellers slip into your listing faster than Harry Potter finds trouble at Hogwarts. Imagine a seasoned Amazon hijacker named Jordan Doe. Jordan's resume is packed with victimized brands from high traffic Amazon categories such as electronics, fashion, and home goods. Each victim had exposed vulnerabilities, and each hijack left brand owners scrambling to reclaim their rightful ownership. Jordan Doe is now on the hunt for a new target, so he begins his recon. Now, Jordan knows better than to attack any big name competitors. While the payoff is huge, the hassle is just as big. So instead, he decides to find some direct competitors to well-known brands. Competitors who have weak brand protection, as evidenced by a lack of an Amazon brand store. This is a telltale sign that they have not maximized their real estate on Amazon. But that's only phase 1. Once he has a handful of potential targets, he's off to phase 2. Jordan acts like a paranormal investigator scouting a haunted mansion. He dives deeper to make sure he handpicks only the ripest targets and maps out all the creaky pathways to a brand's identity. This is Jordan's vulnerability research. Though Jordan regularly discusses the latest hijacking technology on the dark web, he actually doesn't need anything special for this phase. He simply slides on to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and a quick search will tell him if any of his targets lack a trademark. If no trademark is present, Jordan green-lights the unsuspecting brand. Jordan creates a fake account that closely mimics the legitimate brand's identity. Then he crafts similar names, logos, and product images, anything that can blur the lines of authenticity. From there, he registers a brand with a name so eerily close to the target, creating a fog of confusion that shrouds the true identity. With the phantom identities in place, Jordan boldly contacts Amazon support gatekeepers, masquerading as the rightful brand owner. He spins tales of ownership with false documents and misleading claims. If fortune favors Jordan's deceit, he will breach the fortress of brand registry, setting up his ghost registry in as little as 72 hours and gaining access to the brand's sacred listings. But that's just the beginning. With his access secured, Jordan hijacks product listings by altering the titles, descriptions, images, and key features with the precision of a skilled forger. However, this is just the first assault. To put the sprinkles on this chaos cupcake, Jordan next releases counterfeit versions of the brand's products onto the hijack listings. These subpar offerings hide in plain sight, exploiting the positive reviews and ratings originally earned by the authentic brand. However, there's a delicate dance here, because Jordan needs to let enough of the original listing remain while ensuring that his own products show up in the buy box. And a bit about that, because it becomes essential to understanding the other hacking options. The Amazon buy box is a coveted section on a product detail page where that add to cart button is located. Now, multiple sellers can actually vie for owning the buy box by offering the exact same products. Each one is called an offer. Amazon chooses which offer wins the buy box and gets the next click by which one has the best combination of price, shipping speed, seller performance metrics, and overall customer satisfaction, as determined by the Amazon algorithm. Now, hijackers exploit buy box dynamics and push legitimate sellers out, redirecting their sales to their own counterfeit products while leveraging the original listing's positive reviews. Customers are completely unaware of this switch, and they proceed with their purchases believing they are still engaged with the original trusted brand. Now, was the Ghost Registry hijack the one that took down Alisum? We're going to see, but no doubt the Ghost Registry is a very effective hijacking strategy. But the Ghost Registry has one major downside. It takes weeks to set up and execute. That's why Jordan may move on to a quicker option. As we just saw with the Ghost Registry, Amazon sometimes allows multiple sellers to contribute to a product listing and compete for the buy box. Now, this is a normal function within Amazon, and it's actually very popular with big brands such as Nike, which allows wholesalers to offer, say, their Air Force Ones on Amazon. They just list their shoes under the existing Air Force One listing. As you can see right here, all of these are different sellers offering their stock of Air Force Ones. This is not a hijack, nor is it a flaw. It's actually a feature. And it's how Amazon prefers sales of branded items to operate. Natural competition ensures that Amazon shoppers get the best price. Now, in the buy box, each seller is called a contributing seller. And these contributing sellers become the weakness that Jordan will exploit next, because Jordan knows that contributing sellers are allowed to make changes to the Amazon product listings that they sell under. But it's worse than you think, because Jordan knows that contributing sellers with higher seller authority get the priority to make the changes. So as Jordan's portfolio of hijack listings grows bigger, so does his seller authority, because Jordan is actually increasingly becoming a big seller on the platform. So much so that when Jordan decides to target any of the listings of these weaker sellers, he can bully his way into making changes on their listings, even though Jordan didn't launch this listing. This is called the Contribution Hijack. Jordan sets out to leverage his increased seller authority. First, he finds weak listings where he knows that he can become the contributing seller. These are generally unbranded, white-labeled products that he can easily find quick replacements for. Jordan then adds his cheap product to these weak, unbranded listings. Then he uses his seller authority to start making changes to the existing listing. And boom, Jordan has control of that listing with very little effort. He can now make changes to wording and just about anything he wants. Now you may be wondering, why doesn't Jordan use this contribution hijack to take down Nike and other big brands that allow wholesale sellers? Well, I'm just about to show you that, plus the silent breach hijack, along with revealing which of these 3 hijacks took down Allisum. But before I do, if you like this video and want to see more videos like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's a real simple and free way to support this channel. Now we get into one of the most gruesome and frightening of all Amazon hijacks. This option gives Amazon hijackers dominating control of all Amazon functions, including margin-destroying details like coupons, sales, and pricing, as well as logistics settings that control shipping and resupply, as well as full control over all paid advertising settings, and even more terrifying options like changing banking information. This hijack is called the silent breach. Now don't worry if you've never heard of this, most haven't. So I'm going to break it all down, then I'm even going to show you how to protect yourself from all 3 of these hijacks. However, let me say that as masterfully malicious as the silent breach hijack is, it's frighteningly simple to execute, because it bypasses all of the steps that we've seen Jordan take so far. With the silent breach, there's no need for any recon, as the target is frighteningly obvious. There's also no need to worry about categories, because the silent breach works wickedly well in all categories and all product types. And no, there's no need to worry about buy boxes and contributing sellers, because there are no other sellers that you need to contend with. You can simply bypass all of the headaches of the previous hijacks and dominate Amazon listings in minutes. And once inside, everything can be changed, manipulated, and dominated. Yeah, and to make matters worse, Amazon won't think twice about helping the silent breach hijacker with their evil scheme. So I'm going to spoil the plot by saying that this is the hijack that took Allisum down. Allisum was doing close to 6 figures a month with this beautiful stand mixer. They had well laid out listings, wonderful product images, good copy, and solid SEO. Plus it had the kind of sales potential that would make any hijacker drool. It was such a juicy listing that it became ripe for the picking. But unlike Jordan, the Allisum hijacker wasn't interested in stealing sales. The Allisum hijacker wanted to make a point, a big one with long-term implications that last to this day, because that listing is dead as Thor's hammer in a magnet factory. So how did it die? And what is the silent breach? The silent breach is so sinisterly simple, it will make you quake in your boots. First, let's see the result. When shoppers began typing Allisum stand mixer that faithful morning, they were greeted with a title that said,
3 in 1. The seller is a mother
which shut down a profitable listing with an estimated $100,000 in monthly sales. These hijackers wanted nothing more than to embarrass the brand. And embarrass they did, not with just a little vandalism, but also by losing control and shutting down a 7-figure listing. Now, could the brand owners have prevented this hijack and the resulting $1.2 million loss? While any veteran Amazon seller would quickly jump in and say, hey, they should just have set up brand registry, then they could have secured their brand on Amazon. But is that really true? Let's see. Amazon Brand Registry does help brand owners protect their product listings, report violations, and prevent unauthorized sellers from making changes. So it would have stopped the Ghost Registry hijack and the Contribution hijack. Sadly, it would not have worked on the silent breach. You see, Brand Registry helps stop hijackers by verifying brand ownership, giving legitimate brand owners control over their listings, and providing enhanced protection against counterfeiters and unauthorized modification. But Brand Registry would not have stopped this breach because the hijacker had already gained authorization to make the changes. In fact, they had complete authority to be on this listing. And that's why they could change the title and cause such devastating financial repercussions. You see, the only way to have stopped this hijacker would be to revoke and limit access via the user permission section of Amazon Seller Central. Because sadly, this was an inside job. The culprit was a disgruntled employee who set out to bring the seven-figure listing to its knees. So in addition to protecting your brand with Brand Registry, limit user privileges only to people you trust. If you'd like to learn how to not only protect your Amazon presence, but also to grow Amazon sales, I've made it my mission to help 1,000 people to grow to $100,000 in Amazon sales for free. That's why I set up this playlist for you right here. So make sure to tap or click that now, and I'll see you on that first video in a second.